In the headlines, a wide cross-section of stakeholders meet as Prime Minister appeals for them to buy into the first climate-resilient country vision. Dominic sticking to its April deadline to restore power to island, even if the Prime Minister thinks it's impractical. And environmental health authorities boost vigilance over leptospirosis and gastroenteritis. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News. Details right after this.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
Les moun ki ni TB estene e ben tout se, moun ki en bonne santé oli wen ka respire se vermine la. Moun ki pa ni bon tepewaman kon sa ki ni maladi HIV, alcohol, ka fime, ti mamay e gwa moun bien sensible pour ces maladies sa la. Moun ki ka tousse ni pou pran précaution le yo en parmi moun en place publique. Couvre bouche ou le ka estene e tousse. Visite docteur e ben place santé yo. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa jwen guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout si men maladie TB et HIV, protéger corps et les autres.
Welcome back. First up, Prime Minister Skerrit says if Dominica is to build back better with climate resilience, there is need for more efficient service delivery. Mr. Skerrit told the Forum on building the world's first climate-resilient country consultation on Monday, building climate resilience should also take into consideration prompt and reliable restoration to services.
Let's start with the basics. Access to clean running water. Is it acceptable that 5 months after the passage of Hurricane Maria, potable water has not been restored to all communities, homes, and businesses? Of course it is not. You are upset about this, and I am upset about this, and the country in general has a right to be upset about this. The same goes for the lack of electricity, delayed clearance of items from the port, adequate supply of readily available fresh food, particularly fruits and vegetables, the shortage of cement and other building materials, the buildup of debris and garbage, and its impact on our environment. All of these are issues we are concerned about, and their resolutions constitute the first critical cornerstone to building a new Dominica.
In further expressing his dissatisfaction with the water and electricity companies, Skerrit said that they have to step up their response rate to storm's impact.
And I've placed them on notice that energy and electricity is too critical to our recovery efforts for us not to be further than we are today. I've given them a deadline of 2 weeks to get back to me to indicate their seriousness or otherwise of being in Dominica. Because I don't think as Prime Minister of this country I will sit by and allow for a protracted time frame for the reconnection of power to Dominica. That's too critical. And of course, with regards to Duasco has to crank up. Water is too critical for our hygiene and our health and our sustenance. For contractors to be working with contracts all over Dominica and not implementing the contract. My level of tolerance is extremely profound. But I do not have any more tolerance when it comes to these two utility companies. They have to do better, and they must do better for the people of Dominica post-Maria.
In more top stories, opposition leader Lennox Linton used a platform at a national consultation on Monday to call for the current regime to revise a 2012 low-carbon climate-resilient development strategy. Linton says Dominica would have attracted funding under that strategy to build climate resilience, and he has challenged government to give an account of it.
We have been pursuing a low-carbon, climate-resilient development strategy since 2012, with support from climate finance donors and development cooperation partners. This consultation deserves to hear how much money exactly did we collect or attract into Dominica under the banner of that low-carbon, climate-resilient development strategy, and what exactly did we accomplish.
Linton is making a case for government to go back to the 2012 strategy with the purpose of strengthening it.
The strategy envisioned specific resilience-enhancing deliverables in renewable energy, protection of carbon sinks, land use planning, natural ecosystems, forestry, slope stabilization, sea and river defenses, water resources, the whole question of food security through resilient agriculture, fisheries, tourism, the coastal zones, infrastructure, and human settlements.
Linton says he hopes his initiative at the forum represents a new beginning for government-opposition dialogue.
And so, in 2018, 6 years after doing very little, if anything at all, with the distinction of being the first country in the region to have a climate-resilient development strategy, we have set our sights now on building the world's first climate-resilient country, with the recognition that it is, quote, our collective responsibility. We in the parliamentary opposition have been talking that collective responsibility language for the last 5 months, and finally we are seeing acceptance from the government that we need to be together in this. So we welcome that.
Next up, affordable hurricane-proof houses designed with new technology are being introduced to Dominica.
The pitch is being made by international developer Gerald Patje, who is bringing the concept of housing solutions with safe building, disaster-resistant techniques. Patje explained that there are several benefits to this preform housing structure, and it has already been introduced to Grenada a few years after it was hit by Category 4 Hurricane Ivan in 2004.
What has brought us here, we're introducing a new system that basically will go far beyond the building regulations that we have in Dominica at the moment, where you have, unfortunately, you have hurricanes, you have typhoons, you have all these where houses, buildings are getting destroyed. The system that we're offering will eliminate that, which means in the event of a hurricane, you will lose your roof tiles, but not your roof, because it's cast concrete. We've shortened the system to within 15 days to build a house. We have eliminated the cost of high-skilled labour, where semi-skilled labourers can actually assemble this, which if they're supervised correctly, which means a saving for the end user. We've eliminated wood, we've eliminated a lot of the costly parts of using mass concrete.
Director of Point Marquee Development in Grenada, which is working with Patje to develop these houses, says even insurance companies are on board with this new concept.
Well, obviously, anything new is obviously reached with some sort of skepticism, etc. But we believe in putting forward the right model homes for people to see, kind of knock it, look at it, and see how it looks. We believe that eventually they would have the opportunity to see that it is just as good as any traditional house, and even better. And again, the focus is creating hurricane-proof housing. I think that once you, and again, obviously insurance companies are loving that idea because it helps, in terms of their premiums, it would actually reduce the homeowners in premium over time.
During his 2-day stay in Dominica, Patje said the reception towards the mass concrete preform houses has been encouraging.
Everybody, including the clients who came last night, basically just said, when is it available? That's what they want. They love the system. It's a very proven system over years. What we've done is we fine-tuned and tailor-made for Dominica, where it can be assembled very, very quickly at a very short time at a very low rate. What we are doing is, in our design, we're creating what we call like a panic room or a safe room. In the event of a hurricane, you go into this small room, you close the door, and you're protected because you're in 4 walls of concrete. We went to the Ministry of Housing this morning. They were very happy, basically saying that when this is available, when would it be available for, and we're actually selling it to either the private contractor, the ministry, or an individual who wants to build their own house. They can do that.
Moving on to matters of electricity, Domlec will have to recruit additional foreign manpower to help it meet its April deadline for restoring power island-wide. 23% of Domlec's 32,000 customers have power on the grid.
We are currently over 8,400 customers have been restored. Our pre-Maria customer base was approximately 36,000. So that represents about 23% of our customer base, our pre-Maria customer base. Based on our restoration rate that we've been monitoring, we know that we have an average restoration growth rate of over 5.6% per week. It is our intention to increase this significantly.
A major hindrance in the restoration of power was associated with the shortage of resources overseas, given that other Caribbean islands had also been devastated by hurricanes.
A lot of the Caribbean region, the Eastern Caribbean region suffered, a lot of countries suffered significant damage based on these systems that hit us. And Dominica and Domlec is in severe competition with other utilities, other islands for these resources, and that's some of our biggest challenge, both for linemen resources and equipment resources. It is estimated that in the next couple of weeks, we should be able to overcome some of these challenges. Some of these islands, Anguilla, etc., have somehow completed their restoration and now able to assist us with a lot of the resources that we require.
Stamp says the company currently has 42 overseas linesmen on island with the intention of contracting more for the job in the coming weeks.
It's our intention in the next 2 weeks to have this complement brought up to about 60. And with this 120 line resources, we think we can significantly increase the rate of restoration and be able to meet some of the deadlines that we've provided.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. We have much more in store after the break.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners. Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more. Smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Thanks for staying with us. An increasing number of vectors on island remain a top concern for the Environmental Health Department as it deals with existing cases of leptospirosis and gastroenteritis. A vector is an organism, typically a biting insect or tick, that transmits a disease or parasite from one animal or plant to another. In Dominica's case, the mosquito, rat, and fly populations have been the primary focus of the Environmental Health Department. As regards the mosquitoes, the EHD says that luckily the increased number of these insects is not the Aedes aegypti, which spreads deadly diseases such as chikungunya and Zika.
Well, we continue to see a high population in mosquitoes, but it is mainly Culex mosquitoes. We have had maybe about a few cases, I think less than 5 cases of dengue. Dengue is endemic in Dominica, so we always have cases. We have seen a few. However, we continue to work with National Pests for the reduction in the population of mosquitoes. We are looking at also continuing our mosquito preferential project. We hopefully will be collaborating with Public Health, London, and PAHO to continue to do, because most of the drums that we had done got destroyed during Maria. So we are trying, because as you may know, the drum is the most important container for the Aedes aegypti mosquito, and the Aedes aegypti mosquito is the mosquito with the biggest burden of disease for us in Dominica. We have dengue, chikungunya, Zika, and it is also the vector for yellow fever.
In terms of the rodent population, the EHD had forged partnerships with overseas-based entities to improve its rat baiting program to decrease the numbers. Carbon revealed that there are a few cases of leptospirosis on island, however it falls within the expected range.
We have seen a few suspected cases. We have had a few confirmed, and we have seen a few suspected cases, which we continue to investigate, and the numbers are not alarming. They are the numbers that we usually get, because lepto we always get a certain amount of cases every year, and it is within the range of the cases that we usually get. We continue to do a lot of baiting for our rodents, because we have seen an increase in the areas in the breeding sites. As you know, most houses were displaced. We now have more food available. We have a lot of hiding places. So the rodents, the population was very high. So far after Maria, we had gotten a donation from the people of Cuba, government and people of Cuba. We used it, and the kill was very great. It was very successful. We continue to do baiting.
On the issue of the fly population, Carbon says this is most concerning for the department, as gastroenteritis can be spread through these insects, and there is already a high number of gastro cases on island.
We have seen an increase in flies, and this is mainly because of our management of our waste. So I just want to take the opportunity to ask individuals to try to manage their waste, especially their kitchen waste, which is the one that the flies would really need to continue multiplying. With the rain that we have been seeing and the hot weather, and I know that flies have been implicated in a number of diseases, including gastroenteritis. And we really would not want to get an increase in the few cases of gastro we're presently having. We wouldn't really want to see an increase. So we want persons to protect the food that they are going to use from flies. And as we continue to say, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands.
And another landslide has occurred under the Caneville Cliff. The landslide happened on the Iwo-Leblanc Highway near Lyndhurst Funeral Home early Sunday morning, causing a backup of traffic in the area. Channel 5 News understands that no one was hurt in that incident, though one vehicle was damaged due to the landslide. The fallen rocks were cleared during the day, allowing for the subsequent free flow of traffic. This is not the first time in recent history that a portion of the Caneville Cliff has collapsed. In October last year, land slippage on the cliff near Lyndhurst Funeral Home blocked the entire width of road and caused traffic to be at a standstill for several hours. Luckily, no one was injured in that incident. And as the heavy rains continue, caution remains key for motorists and the wider public when driving or walking along Dominica's roads, especially near mountains and cliffs. That's news, your sports highlights. Next. First up in sports, football action intensified as more teams moved up the points table from the 2018 DFA Flow Nations Cup on the weekend. Surgical Southeast got their third straight win of the season and kept their perfect record intact when they defeated RC Doctors 6-2 at Laplain Playing Field. Jocelyn Prince and Javid George netted 2 each for Southeast, while Rai Phillip and Yannick George completed the onslaught with 1 apiece. Wallace Pierre got both goals for Doctors. Over at Benjamin's Park, Exodus FC went on to secure their first win of the season in a 4-0 win against Skerrit Northeast. Ashwan Hill registered a hat-trick with Aaron Francis adding 1. At Cassibruce Playing Field, Kalinago Football Club also got their first win in the league when they won by default over LA Stars. In their first appearance in the competition, Promex Harlem United and Petro Caribe Point Michel finished 4-3 in favor of Harlem. Donan Jouvrier scored a brace for Harlem, while Errol Blaise and Kasim Peltier added 1 each. Marcellus Raffle, Shemaya Dangleben and Bert Kazemi scored for Point Michel. Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers found confidence on home soil and went on to edge out Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin Football Club 1-0. Lemar Irish did the damage for Bombers. Finally, We United and East Central played 2-2 all draw. Moving on to cricket, where there were wins for Jamaica Scorpions, Kent Combined Campuses and Colleges, Marooners Combined Campuses and Colleges, and Windward Islands Volcanoes in Super 50 action on the weekend. Beginning with Scorpions versus USA Cricket Team, where batting first, Jamaica scored 259 for 8. Trevor Griffith came in with 80 to help prop the score, with an unbeaten 62 from Fabian Allen. S. Netravalka was the pick of the bowlers for USA with 4 wickets for 45 runs. Set an unlikely 262 win, USA fell short and scored 179 for 9. Jaskaran Malhotra was their only player of note with 70. Jamaica won by 80 runs. Meantime, Kent went on to beat Leeward Islands Hurricanes by 23 runs by Duckworth-Lewis method. Kent won the toss and elected to bat first and scored 266 for 9 in their 50 overs. Sean Dixon and Daniel Bell Drummond did the damage for their team, scoring 72 and 66 respectively. Kent's batting lineup was met with the vicious bowling attack of Orlando Peters with 5 wickets for 49 runs. With the target set at 220 to win, Leeward scored 196 for the loss of 6 wickets in 42.3 overs. Adam Riley picked up 4 for 40. Taking a look at Volcanoes versus Hampshire game, we can tell you that Volcanoes' win in that encounter put them in second place in Group A with 5 wins from 8 games played. As of Saturday's games, the team was tied on 22 points with Trinidad and Tobago, just 5 points separating them from Barbados, which is in first place. Volcanoes opened the batting in that match and scored 293 all-out in 48.4 overs. Andre Fletcher smashed 132 to give Volcanoes renewed vigor. He was supported with a well-deserved 84 from Devon Smith. A combination of Chris Wood, 5 for 38, and Fidel Edwards, 4 for 51, spelled trouble for Volcanoes, but that did not deter them. Set 294 to win, Hampshire crumbled for 157 in 37.4 overs. The only batsman of note was Luis McCamas, 35. Cavem Hodge and Chin Shillingford fought back for Volcanoes, taking 4 for 24 and 3 for 45 respectively. And Marooners went on to beat Barbados Pride by 6 wickets with 39 balls to spare. First at the crease, Barbados scored 196 for 9 with 48 from Roston Chase. Jermaine Levy snatched 3 for 28 for CCC. Set 197 to win, Marooners equaled the target in 43.3 overs after having lost 4 wickets. And on the international cricket scene, we can tell you that India continued to show dominance with a 28-run win against South Africa in the first T20 on Sunday. Sent into bat, India scored 203 for the loss of 5 wickets. Shikhar Dhawan's 72 was India's highest score on their batting lineup. Set 204 to win, South Africa fell short and scored 175 for 9 in their 20 overs. Despite Reza Hendricks' 72, South Africa was unable to meet the target with some lethal bowling from B. Kumar. India's right-arm medium bowler and player of the match took 5 wickets for 24 runs to ensure his team's win. The second T20 is carded for Wednesday in a day-night match. That's all the sports for now. Join us next time. To end the news, the headlines again. Wide cross-section of stakeholders meet as Prime Minister appeals for them to buy into the first climate-resilient country vision. DOMLEC sticking to its April deadline to restore power to island, even if the Prime Minister thinks it's impractical. And environmental health authorities boost vigilance over leptospirosis and gastroenteritis. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNews19thFeb2k18. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Kenny Williams. To all our viewers around the world, thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.